What's a terrible addiction that no one really mentions? Always being in a relationship and not being capable of being alone? Overworking. You're not a hero, you're a victim. Doom scrolling. Buying things. Just always going to the store or shopping online. Controlling other people. I've had certain people do that so much to me, as though everything they do or think they know is the one correct way to do anything. Dismissing my experience as invalid, talking over the top of me, being rude TF about it, and treating with utter disrespect. I think it's an addiction to power. Overthinking. It creeps up on you, and suddenly you're stuck in loops, replaying the same scenarios in your head. People rarely talk about how exhausting it really is. Workaholism. Takes over every part of your life until you die early of a stress-induced heart attack in your mid-50s. No one even wants to deal with your funeral. Processed foods and junk food. TikTok endless scrolling social media feeds. Shit has irreparably fucked my brain. I have to watch everything on max speed now. Sometimes even a 1-2 minute TikTok video is too long for me, let alone a 10-minute YT video. Solitude. Sometimes the bullshit of other people forces you to spend time alone. The quiet the clam becomes very addicting, yet you know it's still toxic, but don't really have much of a choice. Edit. 1. In solitude, I mean isolation, for those of you that see a difference between the two. 2. It seems some are misunderstanding what I said, disregarding the context of the post thread. What is toxic is an addiction to isolation solitude, not solitude isolation itself. It is harmful to a person their life when its excessive impedes one's life mentally or socially. It is definitely not always the case, but may become so when it becomes excessive, hence the addiction part. 3. For those interested, further read the thread of comments replies to get a better understanding of what I meant. In any case, it's just an opinion. I'm not claiming to understand everything. Limerence. Here's one I haven't seen someone mention yet. Exercise. People don't think of it as an addiction because it's generally good for you. But once you get past the point of diminishing returns, being a gym rat just eats up your time. An old friend of mine would get cranky if she didn't get in 4 to 5 hours of working out every single day, and she didn't listen when I told her that doing that much wasn't necessary for being healthy. Food addiction. There are so many above me that are mentioned all the time: porn, internet, alcohol. But food addiction doesn't really get mentioned in real life and isn't taken seriously as others. I'm almost embarrassed to say it in real life since people just mock me. At times I've basically felt like I was eating myself to death and didn't have control over it. You never feel full unless you overeat shitty food. People call you disgusting or gross when you mention your experiences as a food addict, i.e., overeating to the point you throw up. RuneScape. Shopping. It sounds crazy until you deal with it. Sport addiction, in particular running or triathletes. I do this as a hobby and am addict a bit myself, but what I see in some extremes is truly shocking, especially in the ultra world. Some that completely destroy their body and yet still cannot stop. Knew someone who had several fractures in their hip and kept running. Hours and hours of sport each day, sacrificing family and jobs and just everything in their life except sport. It's usually not seen as a problematic addiction because it's good for you, but it can 100% destroy your body and relationships with other. Sport is like a drug. Working hard on controlling my addiction and it's been fine, but it takes a real effort. Some of us just thrive off those endorphins. Validation from strangers. Gambling. People do crazy things if they've convinced themselves there is a slim, but not too slim chance of being rich. TikTok or similar short video streams. You get caught in a death scroll that steals your attention focus away from everything around you for hours at a time, just like a drug. It's absolutely insane that this has not been brought to the attention of the public psyche.